Hey everyone, Eric Tons here, and with this video, we'll be talking about how to increase online visibility, where I'll be giving you some powerful ways to go about increasing the online visibility of your website and brand. And in a moment, I'll be talking about the one thing I recommend you focus on first to start improving your visibility online. So let's get into it. So in the last video, we talked about how if your customers and potential customers can't find you online, it might as well be that your business and message don't exist. One way to illustrate the importance of this is a recent study showing that around 81% of consumers research products online before making a purchase, and that's whether they intend to buy online or in store. So this stat shows the importance for businesses to maintain a real robust online presence, as the majority of shoppers seek information digitally prior to committing to a purchase. So if brands don't have a high enough level of online visibility, or if they fail to implement visibility strategies properly, they'll face a range of significant problems that can severely impact their growth and even their survival as a business. So knowing that being visible online is important, the next question is, how can we really make this happen? What's our next step? And how can you actually be found by the right people online without spending a fortune in the process? So to keep costs down, let's put aside the thought of paid ads for a moment and start with thinking about what your customers are really searching for. So very often they're looking for solutions to their problems, right? We need to make your website and online content the answer to those problems. To begin with, this is done through a combination of fixing and optimizing your website for good user experience, competitor research, and valuable content creation and content marketing. Let's take a moment to look at each one in more depth. So first off, it's fixing and optimizing your site for user experience. And I call this fixing the broken windows. That's the phrase I've been using. And by here, we mean completing the basic improvements to your site, to existing pages on your site. Because a site with things like broken image links, empty title tags, pages taking too long to load, and duplicate content, among other examples I could give, all act in a similar way to if you were seeing many broken windows on the front of a building. That would act as a signal to both search engines and your users saying, this site isn't taken care of well and then shouldn't be taken seriously. So that's something you really want to fix because it really helps empower the other elements that help you get found in search results, in addition to that first impression of a site that looks good, like a building that doesn't have broken windows on it, can be taken seriously and then can advance to the next step of consideration. For a long time, Google has had an official stance on this subject, saying if you encounter a problem on your website that affects its search ranking or indexing, you should actively try to fix that issue, including using tools like Google Search Console. To show this in action, here's an example using some marketing software that tracks the organic traffic of a site I worked on a few years back, starting in the earlier part of this line graph here in orange, about this plateau, this flat plateau here. It was about, started at about, estimate of this software was about 2,500 organic visits daily. And so this site had a lot of, quote, broken windows, like we were talking about before, so to speak. And I suggested some fixes that included cleaning up things like duplicate content, including large amounts of duplicate on-page text and duplicate title tags and H1 tags. So you could see that this translated into improved organic search traffic as this line increased over time. And we reached higher highs. We more than doubled over the time since I started working on the site. And all this points to its having a higher online visibility from this plateau to these higher peaks of, again, more than doubling the organic traffic in the time that I was working on it. Next, I suggest to research your competitors and keep an eye on what they're doing. You can really gain a lot by conducting a thorough Google search of your competitors to then review things like their sales pages, read their articles, and explore more about their website functionality and ways that they might be generating traffic and serving their visitors well. This research can give you new ideas on how to interest your target audience differently and differentiate your brand by adding value in new ways. When assessing competitor sites, examine their overall layout, the effectiveness of important pages, such as product pages and category pages, and the caliber of each piece of content that you're seeing. Take note of how they employ things like interactive elements, so buttons, quizzes, drop-down menus, And remember to spot not only commonly used tactics, but also the subtle, distinctive features that could give you an advantage. Maybe you can come up with some new ideas or combining some of these things for your own site in a new way that serves your customers really well. Lastly, we'll talk about content marketing and optimizing your current content. Remember, content isn't king, optimized content is king. Once your website is in good condition and you've researched your competitors, your next major focus should be on creating high quality content and optimizing the current content on your site. If your site only serves as a digital storefront or sales platform, you risk missing out on potential visits from your audience. So instead, build on your expertise to create content that adds value and deeper insights for your users. So for instance, if your customers have a couple top main problems that they want solved, create some content showing these problems from a new angle that shows your product solution in a new and powerful way. Quality content not only boosts your credibility and standing in the market, but also signals to Google that your site offers genuine value. At the same time, it helps you rise in visibility above your competitors and solidifies your authority. While many businesses know the benefits of writing informational articles to drive traffic, that's been established for a long time. Keep in mind that there are countless other forms of content worth exploring. So, depending on the subject, certain formats may be more engaging or effective than an article. Adopting these varied formats can open new avenues of connection with potential customers. A few other approaches you might want to consider include visuals that are really engaging, like infographics and illustrations. Things like product walkthroughs and reviews are really popular. Ask Me Anything QA style discussions, those are great. You can come at a subject from so many different angles with those. Things like video testimonials featuring customers, giving their feedback and insights. You can offer detailed case studies, things like expert interviews, and curated news highlights, where you could say a news topic and then give your take on it, or even interview an expert on that news topic. So you can combine these in multiple interesting ways. Again, all to show, aside from just giving value and information, you can be highlighting how your product or service is a solution with those other elements, like say the news of the interview, the case study, as the context showing how this fits into the customer's need in life. Another example from my past experience was working on a different site to add new article content, strengthen the text on key product pages to make those pages both more unique than they had been previously, and to add more value with text answering specific questions to common needs that the customer base had. And this graph right here shows about where I started with the client, you know, back around here, earlier part of this line graph. And so I was adding new articles and optimizing the product pages like I described above. This continued for some time, and we can see an increase in the organic traffic as well as a rise in organic pages having keywords ranking in Google with this yellow line here. This yellow line just stands for the number of organic pages ranking in Google somewhere. So when the work started, we started to see organic traffic rise and the number of pages ranking in Google also rise. So one reason I chose this particular graph was to illustrate this drop off right here. And this coincided with a drop in the content creation focus for this website by the client at that time. So there are many reasons for drops like this, but a lag in content creation very likely softened the results in this time frame. So content creation was eventually restarted and the rise in traffic started again, along with the rise in organic pages ranking in Google. And if you want to learn the one thing I suggest you focus on first to start improving online visibility, here you go. Start by claiming and optimizing your Google My Business profile, which is the foundation of much of the information you see in this spot here in the Google search after a search for a company or a service. It's free, it's powerful, and it's where many local customers and non-local customers, people anywhere in the world, will find you. Again, because they search for a product or service. If it's well optimized, your Google My Business will come up and will give them more information, and it'll be a feature on the right side of a Google search. And making sure your business name, address, phone number, and website are all accurate is part of the process of making sure that's optimized and well kept up. Add some great photos, write a compelling description using relevant terms that potential customer would use to search for a product or service like yours, and actively encourage your happy customers to leave reviews for you on your Google My Business. This one action will significantly boost your chances of being found in local searches and non-local searches and on Google Maps. And all that drives more traffic and visibility to your service and your website, and all of it thus increases your online visibility. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what kinds of non-article content you've had the most success with. In the next video, I'll be focusing on content marketing and how smart businesses will be using it to grow their audience and online visibility this year and into next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.